This is Moments of Truth with Andrew Marks, co-founder of Success Hacker. Today I have with me Cole Sanders, Senior Customer Success Manager with ClientSuccess. Thanks for making time for me. Tell us a bit about your company and what you're responsible for.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. So ClientSuccess, we're a customer success manager platform. The cool thing about my job is I'm a CSM for CSMs. We work with organizations who are small, startup, clear up to the enterprise. So anybody that's got a customer success team is a good fit for our product. I typically work with our key accounts here. So I'm in touch with our enterprise accounts and more of our strategic accounts here at ClientSuccess.
Great. Thanks for making time for me.
My pleasure, Andrew. Thank you.
So Cole, in your role of dealing with your important customers as well as the ones that yell the loudest, how do you stay disciplined enough to focus on those MVCs, or most valuable customers?
Yeah, good question, Andrew. So there's a couple of ways that you can do that. One way that I like to do that is by setting a threshold for myself so that I'm keeping track of my entire book of business and when I got the last touch or last engagement on each customer. So maybe you set that at 30 days. And when the 30 days come along, I know my book of business well enough to know whether this customer is going to talk to me or whether this customer is quiet and I'm going to need to engage with them. One thing that I want to make sure that I'm always doing is providing a valued touch. None of this, hey, just wanted to check and see how you're doing, hope all is well. That is the worst email you could ever send to anybody. And if I got that, I wouldn't even respond. People we work with are busy and we need to provide that value to make sure that they want to continue to talk with us. So I would suggest setting that threshold in order to make sure that you're getting a valued touch at least once a month on these customers. And as you begin to have the conversations back with each customer, you're going to start knowing where to best spend your time. Because like you mentioned, we've got very loud customers. We've also got our most valuable customers. And in order to sort that out, we need to find out where we're going to spend the bulk of our time. And if it's just to be reactive on answering question after question from our loud customers, that's not going to help us find out where our most valuable customers lie.
Now, a technique that I've used with some of my clients and some of the people that I mentor is setting aside time during the week for those most valuable customer reach outs. Have you tried something like that?
So I've tried something like that. It definitely works if you know who your most valuable customers are. Again, I think the biggest thing that we need to figure out first is how are we going to get a touch on all of our accounts? Because what happens is we spend so much time with the loud accounts that we let our most valuable accounts slip through the cracks because they're typically the ones who are only reaching out when they need something, or maybe they're not reaching out at all. And so if I'm able to figure out who they are, then yes, that's at the point where I set time aside and I say, hey, you know what? I'll get back to this customer who is constantly asking for more information or a new feature or something. And I'm going to get a valued touch on these more quiet customers and spend maybe an hour or 2 hours that day or that week, making sure that they're getting the value they need and getting taken care of.
And how do you determine value in a customer? Is it purely the average contract value, or are there other dimensions that you look at?
Definitely other dimensions that I'm looking at. And probably the biggest thing is the ROI that they're getting out of ClientSuccess. Who's going to be a good fit for us? Who's able to use the most features? Who's willing to adopt those features and make them better, make them more sticky? Because you typically will run into two different type of customers. You've got your customer who wants to make the partnership work and they're pushing the levels at every end that they can in order to get bigger and better. And then you've got the customers who kind of just sit back and want you to do everything for them. Those typically aren't our most healthy, best customers because the second we're not there to provide for them, they're most likely going to churn. So I would say being able to figure out which customers are hungry, which customers our business is the best for, and their business is equally good for us, that's how you determine who your most valuable customer is.
So you're doing a bit of ideal customer profiling in that process.
Absolutely.
Thanks again for your time today.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on, Andrew.